Mm. My childhood days are gone. Mm. Because of you, my cloudy days are gone. I can sing to you this song. I just want to say that I love you more than anything. Come on, let's go. Yeah. Come on. You were my shelter from the storm when all my friends were gone. You were right there all alone. Oh, I just want to say that I love you more than anything. Come on, let's go. Yeah, let's go. I'm back. I love you, Jesus. Come on, let's go. I worship and adore you. Just want to tell that I love you more than anything. They gonna hit me on the monetization on this first part, but we gonna keep it on for this. I love you, Jesus. Come on, let's go. I worship and adore you. When it's all crazy, he resurrected and he took you with him in that resurrection. In the death, in the burial, in the resurrection, in the ascension. All I can say, he ascended and I said, thank you. I didn't earn it. Oh, yeah. I didn't earn it one bit. I didn't earn it. Nope. Ain't no way I could earn it. Ain't no way I could. I couldn't do it. So I got to say I love you and I appreciate it. Mm. Because I didn't earn it and I couldn't earn it. And when they hated me and they only see me the way I used to be, they don't see me the way I am now. They don't see the clarity that you done gave to me. They don't see it. They don't want to see it. I don't care. I'm just going to sprinkle what you told me to sprinkle. See, I couldn't sing I love you, Jesus, for a long time. I really couldn't sing it. And the reason I couldn't sing I love you, Jesus, for a long time, because I was like, I don't love him. Like, I love him, but look at what I'm doing. I love him, but look at what I'm at. I love him, but look at this. Look at that. Look at that. And he like, that don't matter. See, man wants you to think that that matters. But don't you know you dealing with a God of time who he knew time, he knew what you was going to do before you even did it. He knew what was going to draw you before it even drew you. He knew what you was going to be obsessed about before you were even born because he designed you a certain way. Come on. Come on. Come on. See, when we say we lost and then you're found, people wonder what that means. They go into a church building and they say, oh, God, I love you. I was lost, now I'm found.
Your foundness doesn't start in the church building. Just because you in the church building, that don't mean you found. It's a lot of lost Negroes in the church building, if you don't know. They lost and they deceived. They trying to find him. And while they see me simultaneously trying to find him and connect to him, he's like, yo, I'm already here. You trying to strive up here to get here. You don't understand. You here with me. Let's just receive it. I just accept you just the way that you are. Just the way that you are. I accept you. No fluff. Man want fluff. Man wants you to be a certain way. Man wants you to think a certain way. Man wants you to conform a certain way. But you don't get it. Like, the reason why you can't conform to the way that man wants you to conform is because you got a play and you got a path that's laid out for you, and your path is different than other people's path. And when you know that your path is different, it ain't gonna look like everybody's. You don't conform to their way of thinking, the way their culture tells them. Let me tell you, culture is a way of thinking based on the majority of people. God is not about majority. It's not about you talking about a person who won battles with Gideon, 300 people, and y'all like, man, I don't know if I believe that. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on right now, Lee. We got this going on. We got to pay the bills. We got to pay the mortgage. We got to pay. What you mean, Leon? What you mean? What do you mean? I'm about to give it to you and tell you what I mean by that. Like, what do you mean? What I'm saying is that you keep imitating this path and you think it's like this, and you wonder why we struggle, why people struggle, why they try to make it, why they trying to do what other people do. They trying to live with the mentality that other people gave them instead of the mentality and thinking that God gave them. See, God is always renewing. You heard the thing about the potter and the clay, like the clay is on there. He's the potter. People get running so, you're the potter and I am the clay. All that stuff. Listen, stay on the wheel. Stay on the wheel. No. Don't try to do it and fix yourself. Let him fix you. Let him draw you. Bro, I'm telling you, let him draw you. Let him draw you. Don't let these churches lie to you. Don't let these pastors lie to you. See, all you need is one good teacher. And you know how you know you got a teacher? It's not when you walk out and you feel all great and good. It's when you walk out, he said, the light bulb went off. Oh, man. I didn't know this. I never saw that. I did not understand that. And that's what he's about. He says in Proverbs, and all you're getting, get understanding. That means he wants you to understand what's going on in the world, what's going on in your finances, what's going on with your spouse, your children, and your family, all of that. That's all he wants. He wants you to understand it. He don't want you to be in the darkness about none of this. And they want you to be in the darkness because if you in the darkness, they in the darkness. They can tell you stuff in the darkness and you'll believe it. 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 Ooh, okay. I was looking for this in Luke 15:5. You can check it out in the King James. You can check it out in the NIV message. But I'm gonna tell you I've read this so many times, but I never read it in the Mirror translation. So I wake up 4 o'clock this morning. I'm like, I don't want to get out of bed. I'm chilling. I'm trying to roll over. My wife, where's she at? She right there snoring. He said, man, I want you to study. Come on, I want to show you something. So I finally get up at 4:15. And I get in the office at 4:25. But he there with me. Why is he there with me? Why is he there before I even get there? Because the lie and the deception is you got to do all this stuff to get ready for God, to be perfect for God, ready for God. You got to just know that in everything outside that looks imperfect, he has already perfected all of that. See, the world says we live from the outside in. I'm telling you, no, the design is to live from the inside out. So I'm listening to this. I'm reading the story of the what is it? The prodigal son. I always used to love the prodigal son. I'm like, yeah, that's the prodigal son. And you know, he comes home and his father gets him. He's like, yeah. And then in church, they be like, religiously, they be like, yeah. This is weaponized religion, institutionalized religion. It says, oh yeah, you came back to the church. So you're definitely like you're back. You're in the church. You're back. That's not the lost being found that he's talking about. Luke 15:6 says, then as soon as he arrived home, we talking about the sheep. Remember he said, I leave the sheep. This is the same story like the prodigal son that left. He left the sheep. He said, man, I will leave the 99 to find that one. And I'm telling you that you are that one. Like if you're listening to this right now, I'm telling you, you're that one. You just got to awaken to your righteousness of being that one. You got to awaken to the identity that don't cost you nothing. It don't go when you do something bad. It don't come when you do something good. It's not sometimes here, sometimes it's not. It is the permanent state of your spirit, period, in the eyes of God. It's the permanent state, not your outside, not all the stuff they tell you. You're sinning. Get your mind off of sin. Focus on him. Oh, God, look, that's a rhyme. So this is Jesus talking about the sheep. He said, then as soon as he arrives home, he invites all his friends and his neighbors to join him in celebration of the lost and found sheep. I tell you, he said, this mirrors heaven's joy over the one out of sync person who awakens to his authentic identity. Come on, bro. This story of the lost sheep that he leaves the 99 to get one, it mirrors what he's been trying to tell, what he's trying to say through all the ages. This is what it mirrors. The joy, this is heaven's joy. They found the one sheep, this is heaven's joy over the one out of sync person, the out of sync person. Now, y'all like, what do you mean out of sync? I never heard that. See, we don't take the time in this Western church to actually go and look at the Greek and look at the Hebrew translations of these words because you read it through a Western book. So the words don't always mean the same thing. It don't always mean the same thing. See, he said one lost in the traditional, they teach, oh yeah, he's happy about that lost being found. He calls that out of sync person. He says the Greek word for that is harmatos, sinner from, he said, negative portion or form, thus to be without allotted portion or without form, pointing to a disoriented, distorted identity. Now check this out. Pointing to a distorted identity. The word meros is the stem of meros, and it's talking about your identity being out of sync. Oh man, shoot, I'm sweating. This is so good. Now, why is this good? Because he goes on to say, the person who awakens, you're out of sync and you awaken. See, revelation, redemption, all of this stuff that we say, Christian, you got to be saved and all, it is simply an awakening. It's an awakening to one, you're insufficient. Everything you tried to do, you couldn't do it in your own self. Then you awaken into this. Oh man, God is bigger and greater than me. Bigger and greater than me in every aspect. Then you awaken to this. These are the levels of awakening. Then you wake, oh, you mean to tell me he's got a destiny? You mean his destiny was already given to me before I even came down here? And all I got to do is plug in and fellowship and commune with him. We ain't talking about running around the church. We ain't talking about spitting. We ain't talking about hollering. We ain't talking about doing all this other stuff. We really just talking about getting up and talking to him and letting him direct your step. Because the stuff that's crazy doesn't stop. It keeps going. The biggest difference is that with him, he already has the path laid out. You already know who you are. You're not in no panic mode or anything like that. You're resting in your identity, who he made you to be. And he said that they rejoice out of that out of sync one coming into sync and awakening to their authentic identity, not what the world gives you, not who they tell you. Oh, I'm black. Oh, I'm white. Oh, I'm a Republican. Oh, I'm a Democrat. Oh, I'm conservative. These are all layers and tiers and things. This is not your true authentic identity. Your true authentic identity looks just like him. Yeah, you're like, man, I got flaws. No, it looks just like him. No, Leon, I'm not doing it. Looks just like him. Not to say that you in that state is what he is, but to say that the state of goodness, mercy, kindness, the fruit of the spirit, all those different things, love, gentleness, that's his state. And you in the spirit mirror that state. And when you continue to stay in that place of it, of recognizing that, it just starts to grow out. That's why they call it fruit. That's why they call it fruit. You can't force fruit or make fruit. We got genetically engineered fruit with no seeds right now. You can't do that. That's not it. Fruit is a natural occurrence of your spirit in fellowship with God, period. That's what it is. He says, rather than our identity, rather than over the 99 who supposedly understood who they are and therefore need no persuasion. That sounds like the world to me. That sounds like religious folk. They don't need any persuasion. They got it already figured out. I mean, you go to the churches, they tell you, oh, it's like this. And if you dare to think anything different, to question what's given to you, they got it figured out. They don't need persuasion. Now, what is, in this case, what is he talking about with persuasion? See, when you got the fruit of the spirit, you also got a fruit. You got faith. Faith is freely given to you. You don't run out here to find faith. He persuades that faith. He persuades you so you will do the most adventurous stuff you've never done before. And you'll wonder, like, all you want him to, God, just persuade my faith. Just persuade me. Just persuade me. See, the way we can get up here and make content, the way I can get up here and talk to you, I didn't want to talk about this. I am the one that is the most happiest and secure sitting in my nice house with my nice wife and going out and making some nice money. But he persuades your spirit to the point where you say, I'm going to do this. Then I'm going to do this. Then I'm going to do this. And then you find yourself doing some things that are so miraculous because the scripture says good works he predestined for you to walk in since the beginning of time. That means these works are already done. To walk in those works, that means you must have the gifts and the talents to do it, right? Come on. It is. We keep looking all over here when it's right in here. See, when I said real estate lunchbox and I was talking about because I was looking in real estate for it. I was looking in the money for it. I was looking in the deals for it. I was looking in the people. Let me tell you, everything that you need for life and godliness is in you. The God who created heaven and earth abides in you. Now, what does that mean? Because it's echoed. People throw it around like, oh, the God who's made heaven and earth is in you. No. Slow down and know this. You're a reflection of him. You need to discover what that means. That's a growing discovery. What does that mean when my wife gets upset? What does that mean when a bill is due? What does that mean when I got to pay for this? What does that mean when when I'm sick in my body? What does that mean? When Negroes hate on you, what does that mean? That means in this earth, Jesus said it, just as he is, so am I. Just as you are, so are you. You are enveloped in him. That's why they got the communion. That's why they got baptism. That's why they got all that. It's just all that symbolism of being enveloped in him. And then you get the world, you get Western society, and I love where I live. But I will clearly tell you that the way that these pastors read this book, they read English, but the words that have been translated from Greek into English don't necessarily have the same meaning. Not completely off, but the depth of the meaning isn't always there. Isn't always there. Like people walk around, they throw, I'm saved, salvation, God love me, I'm saved. Soterior, the Greek word for salvation, means you're whole, nothing missing, nothing broken. Now I'm a clear. You drop in the chat if you think this is right. You drop in the chat if I'm wrong. Check it. How can you now have salvation? Everything that exists from God, you say, I'm saved, I got salvation. But you go over, you have a brain fart every single time something that you do wrong, that when you out of sync, when you sin or when you do this, all you get is guilty. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have done blah, 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 blah. Hold on, you got salvation in you. Hold on, you said you saved. Then when a bill comes up, you're like, man, shoot, how am I going to pay this bill? Hold on, saved. Salvation, soteria, means nothing missing, nothing broken. Zoe is the actual word in Greek, the God type of life. abundance. So you have abundance in you, but they keep wanting us to go over there and find abundance. They want us to find it in our career. They want us to find it in a 4-year education. They wanted to find us to find it in this person right here, in my spouse. I gotta find it in my spouse. No. Just like the story with the woman who walked up to the prophet and said to the prophet, listen, the oil, what do I do? They coming to get my kids and I can't pay my bills. He said, what do you have in your house? You got oil. She said, I got a vessel of oil. Okay, go to all your neighbors, borrow these vessels from them. You've already got a callus, you've got wine, oil. I want you to start pouring into each one. See, he didn't say go out and build something, do all this, blah, blah, blah. He said what's in your house will be your provision. And then it'll be supernaturally increased. Man, I am, ooh, man, I tell you. Shoot, I ain't got no jokes planned for today. I just came in hot. I just want to probably take about an hour. We're going to do about an hour and a half. And I'm going to go over some of these points. I'm going to go over some of what's taking place right now. What we want to talk first about? What are we going to talk first about? Oh, yeah. Let's go ahead and rap about this because I don't want to get too deep. For some of y'all, it's too heavy. For some people, it's just way too heavy. They're like, Lee, we came for the show. We didn't come for you to lead us to Jesus.
Congratulations. Well done.
We didn't come for you to talk about that Jesus stuff. We just want to hear about the foreclosures falling apart. Well, the bread is there, and you don't know where the bread is. It's just like who moved the cheese? How do you find the cheese when the cheese is moving? And I'm going to tell you, in this economy, the cheese is moving, bro. The cheese is moving. The cheese is moving. I just don't believe, I know we're already in a real estate type of foreclosure epidemic. Like, it's starting slowly, okay? And if Trump can't do, or our government officials don't agree or have some level of peace to make things happen, what's going to end up happening is that these things will continue to grow and it will become more of an epidemic. But I believe that's what separates also the have from the have-nots. It's in some ways is knowledge, and then in some other ways is skill. It's knowing what's happening also, and knowing how to fit your skill set into what's taking place. So I tell people, this whole thing that's taking place with immigrants in the country, illegal immigrants, as an agent, man, I'm gonna tell you, I've sold to them. I know 100% that people who don't necessarily live in our country, who don't necessarily aren't citizens of our country, they own land, they own properties, they stay here freely. If you go to their country or you go to another country, you are tempted to do that, they will tell you to leave. No, they will tell you, you cannot do that.
Oh, no.
No. And sometimes they don't even have to practice to be or to live any differently. They don't have to practice to do that. The reason why they don't have to practice or live any differently or become citizens of any of that is simply because, listen, man, that's the way the rules are right now. Well, that's the way the rules have not been enforced concerning. That's really what it comes down to it. The rules aren't enforced. So because we have rules that aren't enforced, people just do what they want to do. Is a sense of lawlessness, you know? So that's what Trump, and this is so, man, this guy said he nailed it. And I'm probably going to play this. Let me find this. What Trump is laying down, it's not just good for the country, but it's also going to be the catalyst or the thing that will allow Christians to be persecuted at higher rates, I truly believe. And I believe it because when he's taking a stance of being a Christian, we've had Charlie Kirk, we've had all these things. Now we're talking about Christian values. We're talking about having some level of self-control. We're talking about not causing violence against the state, the government that you live in. We're talking about all of that. But when you have that enforced, just like a child at home, and you tell him to do something, he's going to have an attitude. And if that child, unfortunately, is not a child in a young toddler or adolescent age, they're a teenager, in some case young adults, and you're like, hey, you can't just leave the house and do what you want to do when you want to do it. You know, you still live under my roof. That adolescent, we've seen it in the past where they tried to even assassinate and kill their parents. Menendez twins, I think they are. It's not just them, but we've seen it multiple times. Without a proper relationship with God, when this stuff rolls out the way that it rolls out, because we're in a cycle. I want y'all to understand this. And I don't share the opinion of a lot of the other conservative podcasters or YouTubers. They follow a lot of trends. I follow trends too. I bring you the trends, but I'm also going to tell you what I see and what I see coming. These are cycles. Nowhere in our country or the history of our country has a person been elected to office more than twice. Well, let me take that back. We did have that, I think, in World War II. It was either 2 or 1. I think it was 1. It was Franklin Delano Roosevelt, I think. He was in office 3 times. Leave a comment if I'm wrong. Tell me if it was. Because it was a wartime president. I believe it was Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Who, before that 2-term law was put into place, was elected a 3rd term. We were in the middle of a war. So when this is done, and this cycle is done with a Republican at the helm, a conservative at the helm, someone applying and bringing back the law and the scripture, or even the law, I'm not even talking about biblical scripture, because that's not it, but just rules of what's right, what's wrong. I believe you then go in, if we're not strong enough, conservatives don't say anything, law-abiding Christians who believe the gospel don't say anything, and we flow because they feel is great, because they feel, hey, yeah, you know, love is for everybody and everybody's love and everybody's peace and all this stuff, which I respect. Everybody, if you choose to do that, that's the way you choose to live. But when that other party comes back and they say, hey, we won the vote. Now all the stuff y'all were doing, we taking it. Matter of fact, we coming after every last Christian. And you think it's impossible, but I keep saying that you got to realize the Bible's nowhere is the Bible mentioned in end time revelation. I'm sorry, America mentioned in end time revelation. Is America's just not there. I don't see it. And if you see it and you know it, please point it out to me, because the eagle is nowhere mentioned there. They talk about the top nations conversion on Israel, but they do not say anything about the United States, the Western world. Don't know why. I can't say it. I just haven't studied to find that out. I'm always open to learn. That's why, and I'm going to put this point, get yourself a good teacher. Good teachers. So we want real teachers, real money, real assets. You want stuff to be real, because a lot of these teachers aren't real, but there are some really good real teachers out here that preach the real gospel. And how do you know? Because your life will really be changed, and then you will really see a change. But there's a lot of fake teachers, and Robert Kiyosaki was right when he said fake teachers, fake money. He was right about that. I had to say, God, I want to have real teachers. I don't want fake teachers teaching me. They don't have to be 100% right on everything, but enough to lead me to there so I can drink and I can say, okay, you're wrong about this. You're right about, I get this. I understand. And God just give me peace on it. But I do believe truly, as we go and we're going to hit that midterm cycle, there's going to be a phase where conservatives do not run the White House. And just like a bad behind kid who was told to do certain things, didn't want to do it, and did it only for their parents, we're going to turn around and we'll see if a liberal is in office, the wrath that they bring. Now, y'all said, what happened? And when it happens, what ends up happening is there's an adjustment that takes place. And people turn around and they will look at, I believe, Christians as being the ultimate enemy. I believe they will. Because only Christians are saying, You know, a man and a woman. Only Christians are saying no abortion. Only Christians are saying, well, and you do have some in the Muslim population, but for a large part, only Christians are saying that. Only Christians are saying we're for the government. Why? Because the government is, in the scripture, it talks about being at peace with the government you're in. Now, why was Paul even talking about that? He was a citizen of Rome, but he also had Jewish brothers and sisters that were not citizens of Rome. And being a Roman citizen gave you certain things that you could do and get away with or not be subject to. Like, they will kill you if you struck a Roman citizen. Like, it was that deep being a Roman citizen. Now it's not. There's no scale to that. This is completely different now. So he told them that so they live at peace in the country. We were not meant to bring the country to a place of war. We were meant to raise the country up through principles of Christ and things that we know, the love of God. But we're past that point, because now when you have these bad behind children and you tell them to do, you can't do that. Our population is dwindling because you killing the babies. Our population is dwindling because you pushing homosexuality. Or our population is doing this because this happens. When you tell them, they look at you and say, oh, you crazy. I read this statistic that in Europe, and this happened in Spain yesterday. So I read it yesterday. Yesterday, Spain allowed 300,000 immigrants that were there, if they had not committed a crime in the country they were coming from, or that country, they could provide proof of it, they would expedite or begin their process of their citizenship. They didn't ask for the value they bring to it. They didn't have any of that. Now, we know stuff can be, that's Europe's issue. Fraudulent things can be gotten all. But what hit me the most, it wasn't even that. It was the fact that as he went over and described what's necessary in order to become a citizen of Spain, he blew up the map, and I was able to see, he showed it, what it looks like, what Europe will look like in the next 10 to 15 years. In there, it said Islam, because these are mostly immigrants, from Islamic countries. Islam will be 10 to about 15% of the population. And he goes from Italy. He points out Spain. He points out some of these other countries in the UK. They at that 10 to 15% margin now, they have the numbers to actually control Spain, to control that UK area. Now, y'all would say, what does that mean? So what? I have not taken a trip to an Islamic country, and I do not want to take a trip to an Islamic country. Why? I don't have anything against brothers that were Islam. I studied Islam, and I lived. I at one time, I thought I was going to be Muslim, but no. Because of the way that they treat women, and I also know at the same time that the rules that are there, beautiful places, I don't take nothing from beautiful places. They aren't rules designed for the freedom of speech and the liberties that we enjoy right now in the West. And the West enjoys it, and they enjoy it in a level of ignorance that they have no idea. And some of us tell them, someone like me, I was born in a different country, came here 2 years old. My parents did everything the right way. That's why this immigration thing is a kick, is a spit in the face. I went and served the military. I did time in the military. But I did it because I love the country. I went through the classes for citizenship because I love the country. I don't even know what the country I was born in looks like. I know the history of it. So when people say, yeah, Trump talks about, he said, oh, the shithole countries, he's wrong. He's called his country shithole. Listen, I know the country I was born in that my parents left and they didn't turn back and they were all college educated. It's a shithole country. That's it. The infrastructure. We get amazed. They say, oh, we're going to go to Ghana. My aunt came back from Ghana and she's talking to me and we're talking on the phone. And she's a heart surgery. Let's leave it like that. Just very few of her skill set. And she wants to live. She was like, do I go to Ghana? Do I go to South Africa? And so she said, Leah, I'm in Ghana and it takes 2 hours every time I went out to get food out, eating out. Why? Because the people are more, and the people wanting service are more than the people that actually provide the service. And they don't have an infrastructure where, for whatever reason, roads get rained out. You've got mudslides that are capable, your water purity. I know people from the country I was born in, and you look at me and you say, no, that dude don't even look like that.
Oh no!
Because water has so much effect on you. Clean water can darken your skin, lighten your skin. I mean, it makes your skin plush. And I'm amazed with so many people that don't drink water. But I believe at the end of the day, there will be a time where the Christians are persecuted in this country. And it's not going to slow down, because the more you put your foot on discipline, the more you put your foot on things like that, they will use the excuse of who's delivering the message as a reason not to obey the message. And that's where the confusion comes from, because nobody has God ever used in the past that has been perfect in any way, shape, or form. David, he killed another dude and stole his wife. Paul, he killed Christians in massive amounts, attempting to genocide them, throwing them over the edges. Biggest writer of the gospel. David looked upon one of the biggest characters in the Bible that had the heart of God. You talk about Peter, who turned around and denied him. You talk about Thomas, who doubted him. You're talking about Matthew, who a lot of people think he was one of the 12 disciples. He was actually not in the original 12. He wrote his gospel off of everybody else's gospel years later. Yeah. And he trolled them. And he said to him, he said, listen, if you can eat of my flesh and drink of my blood, because to follow me, eat of my flesh and drink of my blood. And they're like, oh, that's cannibalism. That's too rough. I got to roll out.
Oh no!
He trolling them. He know people going to bounce. Everybody that came for the wrong reasons are going to bounce. It's just like changing your friend group. Anybody who comes for the wrong reason in your friend group, when you grow into a level of maturity, will bounce. They're not going to stick around, y'all. I'm telling you, they're not going to stick around. You know, I'm going to do this one first. I'm going to do this one first. Choose your friends wisely. I'm saying it now, and I'll continue to say it, because these people you choose as your friends will create your mindset. And your mindset will be one of rich or one of poor, one of struggle or one of victor, one of winner, one of loser. You can't float between both of those places. And check it out. You ain't even got to do the work to do it. God will help. He'll mold that and help you see it in clarity. But your friends will influence you in ways you have no idea. And when we're in this place right now where people are short on money and they're having all of these issues, we got to first start looking at the Negroes that we have around us.
Oh no!
Some people don't need to be in your presence. And I keep saying it, and I keep saying you have valuable cargo. You need to let some of these Negroes go. I'm telling you, because I've been there and I just came out of it probably about 3 years ago, 2 years ago, and I thought he was my friend. Oh, he said all the nice things, bro. We good, we this, come in this, I got you this. And you know, you let your guard down. Watch these people they call friends, bro.
Once you reach a certain age in your life or a certain level of maturity, you should not be picking and choosing your friends based upon surface material things such as what they wear, what they drive, where they live, what type of money they make, what type of clout or popularity they have. We are not in high school anymore. Who gives a fuck? I wouldn't care if they said that you were the lamest, corniest person around. Are you going to be a friend when I need a friend? If I tell you I'm struggling with depression, are you going to actually take the time to figure out what depression is, what it looks like? If I need to vent to you, are you going to actually listen to me and make me feel seen and heard? Or are you just listening and making it seem as if you really care what I'm talking about just so you can have something to talk about later in your other friend circle? Oh Those type of fucking things matter. Imagine being in a friend circle where everyone has to be perfect. Everyone's life has to be together. Yeah, at that time, maybe your life is together, so maybe all y'all vibing, y'all cool. But what if something happens to where you fall off? You fall into depression. Something happens. You ashamed to talk to these friends about what you're going through because you're scared that they're going to judge you or they're going to cast you out from the group. I don't need them type of people around me. I might be up one day and I might be down the next. I need you there through both and not just pretending to be there for ulterior motives that you may have. Yeah, all that shit matters. You got to start looking at stuff in the long term. Because some people just only want to fuck with you when you're at a certain level or you're at a certain status. That shouldn't even be a reason to be friends with somebody if that's the only reason you're friends with them. I'm just saying.
And she's not lying. And you don't get it. Anytime your friend calls you lame, they call you corny, or they say any negative statement to you, I am 100%. I'm telling you, don't ignore this. They ain't for you. People who don't like you or have alternative motives or don't see you in the level of value that you bring will always be quick to criticize you and say certain things. And if you are not listening, they'll say it and you'll think that, oh, they just playing. Oh, it's just banter. Oh, we just having fun. Oh, listen, bro. That's how they really feel about you. I'm telling you, that's how they really feel about you. You don't have to listen. That's how they really feel about you.
I want this to be a friendly reminder that not everybody who invites you out actually wants you to be there. Some people just want your money there. And I say that as somebody who's had to learn that the hard way. When you start doing well for yourself, you got that good job, you're able to keep yourself together, and then
I've been there. I'm telling you, he's not wrong. 0 to 100K. I'm telling you, I've been there.
suddenly you're getting dragged everywhere. People are inviting you everywhere. Trips, birthdays, dinners, stuff you didn't even know were happening before. At first you're thinking, okay, cool, like these people really mess with me, like they really fuck with me. But nah, that's not really what's happening. You have become the group discount. And they're looking at you as the person that makes things more affordable. You make the tab look lighter. And when you show up, you're gonna realize real quick that you're not in the mix like that. You're just kind of there. And you'll catch yourself sitting at the end of the table just quiet because all the inside jokes are flying around and ain't nothing got to do with you. That's when it's gonna hit you that they didn't invite you, they invited your wallet. You have become the photo op friend, and you helped the trip look complete and the check look a lot smaller. You wanna know the crazy part? They're never gonna call you for the free stuff, not the game nights, not the chill days, not the yo, pull up. Nah, not none of those moments. But rest assured, if there's that trip or it's that birthday dinner where they need somebody to split the bill, your phone gonna be hotline blinging every time. When you have money, people are gonna find ways to spend it for you. And the number one way that they do that is by performing friendship. They're acting close enough to access your generosity. So next time you feel left out in a room that you paid to be in, remember that they needed your wallet more than they actually wanted your presence. Protect your peace, protect your pockets, and don't confuse convenience with connection. Leave a like, let me know your thoughts.
Come on.
Everyone in your circle is not in your corner. And what I mean by that is this. There are a lot of people that
You got to know this during this time right now. Why we got this tightening that's going on in the economy. You got to know this so you know you can identify them. And then I believe at the same time as some people, you got to let some people go so that you can navigate this season. I'm telling you. And if you don't let them go to navigate this season, it's going to continue to draw you down. Some people don't see your value, and you got to be quick to identify who these people are.
that we hang out with and we can have fun with and we have a good time. But are they really bringing us to the next level? Are they really helping us to achieve our goals? Do they really want to see us be our best selves? Or are they just good time people in our lives? And we have to really be careful and really be mindful, because the 5 people who you spend the most time with will generally tell you what your future will look like, because people are either going to inspire you or people are going to keep you stagnant. And then there's some people who are actually going to actively try to bring you down. So just because someone is in your circle does not mean that they're in your corner.
That was loud. It came on. I didn't expect that music in the background. But she's 100% right. I was like, where the heck is this music coming from? I got something overlapping. But she 100% right. And unfortunately, some people don't pick this up as fast. The spirit of discernment is what you really, really need. You need to have a spirit of discernment, and that only comes from fellowshipping with God. And really, it just starts as simple as saying, hey, God, give me discernment about these people in my life, man. Because if you don't have that spirit of discernment, I keep saying, you're going to pick the wrong spouse, and you're going to pick the wrong friends, and then you'll open your eyes and you'll be somewhere that you never thought you were actually going to be. 20 years married. This is my 20th year married. I'm telling you what I know. 18 years, 19 years in real estate. I'm telling you what I know. Friendships that were there, ride and die, they ain't there no more. It's because I had to say, God, I need this spirit of discernment. Not just one time. I need to live in this place of discernment where everybody that I see, I'm discerning. What are they for? What are their intentions? And you may think you don't have any value. And that's the deception. They're around you because you have something that they want. So don't think that your friends around you it's nothing. No, it's something that you have. Either you're funny and they're stifling that and they want to take your joy, or either you have financial means and they want to suck on it, pull it out from you, or either your presence is just strong and just powerful where they just want to be under your light and they want to glean from you, but they don't want to actually be a friend that supports you. That's koinonia. That's a fellowship, a balance. They don't have value. And if a friend doesn't have value, then it's unbalanced because you're full of it. You're full of value. Dude, I'm telling you.
In this video with Issa Rae, and she was talking about like how, she knows herself and she's not a considerate friend. And I was going through the comments and I was just saying people's point of view because like for me, like I seen one comment and it was like, how can people want a village and nobody wants to be a villager? And for me, friendship is important. Like
friendship is important, but you're going to see it's not everything.
Like super important. Like it's almost more important than a relationship because for me,
don't do that. And I threw this in here because when you put friendships on that high pedestal, if you're somebody and you're trying to get married, like you're looking for the right one, you're going to miss it because you're going to look to your friends for answers, especially if your very first friend isn't God. Like if you don't got a relationship with him and he's not your very first friend, like the friend that's in front of all those friends where your friends say something and you're like, Lord, what do you say? Which I've done plenty of times. I don't see it that way. And that's what happens. But people put friendship in the wrong place and you can't put it in that place.
For me, like my friends is like we're locked in. And I've had this conversation even with my friends, like if I don't do a good job checking in, let me know, and vice versa. And if you don't check in with me, and I seen some people in the comments, like, if you don't check with me, I'm not going to check in with you. Like, as a friend, I think it's a two-way street. Don't get me wrong, we all got our lives, we all got stuff going on, but if you can't check in with me, then I'm not finna check in with you. And our friendship is going to be different. But I feel like if you were friends, like it's a village, and you have to be a villager in the village to have.
Sometimes when you notice, and that's a good point. If you notice that you're always checking in with people and they're never checking in with you, then you got to question, do they really see me the way that I see them? And that's important because some people don't see you on the same level you see them. And this flies right over their head, like right over their head. Listen to what I said. They don't see you the same way. So if they don't see you the same way and you see them greater than that, guess where the disappointment typically lies?
The village. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing big to me. Like I was even telling my friend, I was like, I got a couple people that check on me consistently. And that's why we so locked in. And that's why you might see like I hang with the same people or talk to the same people because they continuously check in with me. And you can't expect somebody, like I seen one comment it was like, that's fine, that's you, but don't expect somebody to check in on you then. You know what I'm saying?
Let me tell you something. Your circle got to be tight as that shapewear you wearing. Because a loose circle can cause problems and chaos.
She said as tight as that shaper that you wearing. Yo, shout out to all the girls wearing shapers. Listen, let me tell you, keep doing it. Don't you dare stop.
Congratulations, well done.
You're getting it done, girl.
And a lack of growth. You always want to stay in a mindset of growth. If y'all not helping each other, sharing with each other, gatekeeping is a no-no in a tight circle. So if you got friends and y'all not consistently growing, cut that shit off.
If you feel bad because you see a bunch of people with large friend groups, just know that it's so fake. It's not real, I promise you. I've been on the tail end of all of that multiple times because I have joined multiple friend groups that were pretty large, and you learn real quickly that all of those people talk shit about each other and they're all fake, and a lot of it is just a presentable little facade that they throw on social media to make it look like they're all having so much fun. They're not. I feel like I always end up joining friend groups because the couple solid friends that I've had, they've either moved away or I don't know, we just grew apart. Shit happens, you know what I'm saying? Like we get older and we realize we don't value the same things and we lose friendships, we gain some, whatever. But these friend groups are the ones that are toxic as fuck. And they look so cutesy on the outside until you're in them. And now I can't unsee. Anytime I see a large friend group, I don't care.
Yeah, I can't unsee some. Like, I see some cats, they put together these all men groups and these all guys groups, and I'm like, all right, that's cool. I never seen a bunch of lions running in the wilderness, male lions running in the wilderness together. I mean, you typically have one lion, he got a bunch of lionesses with him. You may find one or two other ones in the pride as support, but you don't necessarily see two alphas rolling together. See, the thing about alphas rolling together, or men that have like strong personalities rolling together, they're not going to agree on things all the time. Most of the time, if there's not a level of maturity to know who runs first and who falls behind, and actually to watch that person's back, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So don't let these guys get you confused. If you're a guy out here listening, you don't need a bunch of friends. You need more of God. That's what you need. You need more time with him so you understand your purpose.
I'm immediately like, okay, so y'all hate each other. Y'all talk shit about each other. Y'all pretend like it's all good. Got it. Like that's how those friendships go. Trust me. And what's even more crazy is that they have no problem dropping you either. Like some people that I thought were my most solid friends were actually the fakest. When I started my TikTok journey, I knew that there were some weirdos, right? I knew that people were like watching me. They're like those little spirit watchers. And I knew that like the energy just was not good. It was my friends. Yeah, it was them. You learn. I learned a lot from these situations, but I don't want you to feel bad because those friendships, they're not having a good time.
Yeah.
They're not. They are not having a good time, babe. I promise you. They are miserable. They're all miserable with their life. They all co-sign each other's bullshit. No, don't even worry about it. You be your own friend first. You'll find other friends. You'll find friends that love you. It's so blatantly obvious to me when bitches are talking shit, but it's funny. A lot of them are just all bark, no bite. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let them run their circus. They all fall out eventually. It may take years, but I don't care how solid they're portraying themselves to be. When you're on the inside of it, breakable. So breakable. So fake. Don't worry. I'll be your friend. I love you.
And she's not lying. Man, my wife experienced that when she came and she told me. It's like they were literally like talking about her there, or they were quiet when she comes in the room. But I'm like, damn, they invited you. The ones you want to be your friend close, and the rest of them far out from you. I don't know. It's confusing to me. But at the end of the day, you need to watch those jokers because they're going to determine how far you rise and how low you fall. And talk about friendships. Let's go. Man, I want to go to the next one. Go to the next one. Boom, boom, boom. All right. We've got, who we got? We got blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So Melinda Gates, and I'm not up on Melinda Gates everything. One thing I noticed when I was looking for Melinda Gates videos is that she probably did an interview 3 years ago. Then I saw one from like a couple of months ago, and that was it. Up until recently, when these Epstein files dropped, now Melinda Gates, she's saying her piece concerning it. And it's really not too much, but if you read between the lines, you'll see that it is too much.
I have to acknowledge the elephant in the room at this moment. Your ex-husband, Bill, is named in the newest tranche of Epstein files. And there are a new alleged details about his past behavior, and I want to give you the opportunity to respond in whatever way you want to.
Well, let me say this.
Whenever they pause like that, they trying to get the right words so they don't say something that they shouldn't say that goes against what is it, their divorce agreement, right? Let's go.
I think we're having a reckoning as a society, right? No girl should ever be put in the situation that they were put in by Epstein and whatever was going on with all of the various people around him. No girl. I mean, it's beyond heartbreaking, right? I remember being those ages those girls were. I remember my daughters being those ages, right? So for me, it's personally hard whenever those details come up, right? Because brings back memories of some very, very painful times in my marriage, but I have moved on from that. I purposely pushed it away and I moved on. I'm in a really unexpected, beautiful place in my life. So whatever questions remain there of what I can't even begin to know all of it, those questions are for those people and for even my ex-husband. They need to.
Yo, it's easy to move on when you moving on with 70 billion. I'm trying to figure. That's why she hasn't done any interviews, really, I think, in the last 3 years, outside of this last one she did with CBS Gail Knight, I think. But at the end of the day, yeah, it's easy to move on, Melinda, when you got 70 billion. Yeah, 70 billion makes moving on a whole lot easier.
Trust those things, not me.
Well,
and I am so happy to be away from all the muck that was there.
I have to put more words to the muck for context for our listeners.
Give us the juice, girl. Give us the juice.
The emails in the files suggest that Bill Gates had additional affairs and that he tried to get medication to treat a sexually transmitted infection and that he was going to give you the medicine without you knowing. His representative has said all of this is false. It is not on you to have to respond.
You see her body language? She just...
respond to the details of that alleged behavior, but I wonder what your dominant emotion is when you read these news articles with these details.
Sad. Just unbelievable sadness. Unbelievable sadness, right? And again, I'm able to take my own sadness and look at those young girls and say, my God, how did that happen to those girls, right? And
it's easy when you got the 70 billion. You're going to keep it focused on the kids.
And so for me, it's just sadness for, I left my marriage. I had to leave my marriage. I wanted to leave my marriage. I had to leave I felt I needed to eventually leave the foundation. So it's just sad. That's the truth, right? And it's kind of like, at least for me, I've been able to move on in life. And I hope there's some justice for those now women, right? We see them standing up in front of microphones in D.C. What they went through is just unimaginable, I think. It's not.
Now, that's her most recent interview. To clearly understand how she feels about this, because I kind of believe she switched it up in this interview. It was great and everybody's talking about it. Let's go back to the one that she did with I think this is Gail Knight, I think it is, but Gail King. But either way, she did this about 9-10 months ago. Prior to that, 3 years prior, you don't hear anything about Melinda Gates. Now, I'm going to tell you my theory. Part of my belief is she got a good bag, she got divorced, and she got a good bag because she got divorced at the same time. I mean, because of some of this junk. I'm pretty sure that some of this junk had to do with her getting a good bag. I mean, she supported the man, which is great. God knows, I mean, she could be doing a lot of other things. She could be out here dragging him heavy. So does that mean that something in that agreement that gave her the $70 million, like that big payday, something in that agreement said that you can't talk about this. Because she clearly said this, something with that Epstein relationship affected their relationship and it caused them to split. Epstein was one reason they split. That was one reason.
One thing, it was many things, but I did not like that he'd had meetings with Jeffrey Epstein. He was evil personified. I had nightmares about it afterwards.
Melinda French Gates opens up following her and Bill's divorce and the role Jeffrey Epstein played in their split. The power couple revealed last year that they ended their 27-year marriage.
Any of the questions remaining about what Bill's relationship there was, those are for Bill to answer.
That's Melinda sitting down with CBS Morning's Gayle King on Thursday, her first wide-ranging interview since the split announcement in May.
Divorce is a painful process, even when it's what both parties want. It still is a very painful, personal decision.
It wasn't one moment or one specific thing that happened. There just came a point in time where there was enough there that I realized it just wasn't healthy and I couldn't trust what we had.
Among those contributing factors, Bill's connection to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The disgraced financier died in jail in 2019 while awaiting trial for sex trafficking charges.
You know, it was also widely reported that Bill had a friendship or business or some kind of contact with Jeffrey Epstein.
It's not one thing, it was many things. But I did not like that he'd had meetings with Jeffrey Epstein, no.
And you made that clear to him?
I made that clear to him.
Melinda admits she met Epstein and doesn't mince words about her first impression.
I wanted to see who this man was, and I regretted it from the second I stepped in the door. He was...
Women, I believe women can actually feel the vibe of like men that are like that. And you get some guys that can actually feel it too. But I believe that women feel it even more because they're sensitive to the point where they're a lot of women, and I'm not saying this is all women. Please trust me. I know this is not all women. Okay. Some women couldn't even tell if a fly was on their face. But women who pretty much, they got a man, they in a relationship, they may have some kids, they've lived some portion of life. They can sense when they walk in a room and they deal with certain men, the intentions of those men. And I know it only because, I'm married. I know this. I see it. I got moms, I got sisters. I see that. They are the women. Some women, you want them to be present in a meeting. That's me. Some of these men don't like that. Okay, I'm going to get this light closer so I don't have too much. Some men don't like that. They don't feel women should be involved in business. This is my opinion. I want to make sure that this is good. You can straight see my face. It's not too much of a glare. My opinion personally is that I love having women in meetings with me because women, they can see certain things that men can't see because we're so logically minded. We're like, okay, this don't fit, that don't fit. Let's see this. Does this work? Come on. And we're getting down to the root of the problem. And in the course of it, yeah, we can pick up certain attitudes about guys and things like that. We don't rest in it. But if someone that is a predator towards women can actually sense, they can actually be sensed by women who've actually dealt with predators before, or either they know that predator nature. See, I can tell guys when I get in a room, I can tell with guys that are just, they're just bad. Like they're scammers, or they just got ill intent, or they're just bad guys, like either bad to their women, or they just going to do bad to you in business. Why? Because I've been burnt enough. So if you've been burnt and you've seen it, and I had to go through that level of burning, but I had to go through it to actually see them, to actually know, to identify that spirit. And so I don't put it past Melinda Gates to feel the way she feels about Epstein. And I can clearly understand, knowing that logic, why she got a divorce from this guy.
Abhorrent. He was evil personified. I had nightmares about it afterwards. My God, I feel terrible for those young women. It was awful.
Wow, she had nightmares about it before? Dang. Nightmares. That's deep. Hold on, let's go back to that story real
It's
quick.
not
Hold on, let's
one
go.
thing,
Let's
it
roll
was
back to the
many
end.
things, but I did not.
She had
like it
nightmares.
personified. I had nightmares about it afterwards. My God, I feel terrible for those young women. It was awful.
In a statement to CBS News, Bill calls meeting with Epstein, quote, a mistake that I regret deeply. He adds it was a substantial error in judgment.
Hold on. How many times have you described a meeting with somebody a substantial error in judgment? A mistake that I made. I just be like, yeah, I met with him. Dude's a clown. I'm good. I left it. I didn't deal. No. You just didn't meet. You partaked and you went in the same route. See, the thing about it, and we keep forgetting, when you have money, when you have mammon at your disposal and you use it any way that you choose to, and you feel that it's part of your 48 laws of power, and you don't subscribe to anything God, you probably think the whole concept of God is, oh, that's just a religious flick, and you've already committed yourself to the logical sciences of this world, and it has to make sense within reason. And then you find yourself in a certain place, you got all the money, but you don't have any character. So when you don't have any character, you got a bunch of money, it happens.
Questions remaining about what Bill's relationship there was, those are for Bill to answer.
Okay.
But I made it very clear how I felt about him.
Melinda and Bill's divorce was finalized in August of last year.
First of all, I think, I want to say that on the day I got married, I never thought I would end up being divorced. And, unfortunately, I felt like I needed to take a different path, but I didn't have any sense of how big of news it would be. You can't anticipate something like that.
The couple shares 3 children together, and both remain involved with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
Definitely a very sad milestone.
In his first interview following the divorce in August, Bill explained the split wouldn't affect their dedication towards giving back.
And Melinda's a great person, and that partnership that we had coming to an end is a source of great personal sadness. We are communicating and working at the foundation, and so that partnership we're going to try and continue.
Yeah, I don't doubt she knows something. She's not speaking about it. It's probably tied to, in some way, to what's going on. Don't know. But while this craziness is taking place, we've got to deal with one of the biggest, I think, remember I keep saying real assets, real teachers, real money. We're going through a foreclosure crash. I think it's a foreclosure reset right now. I don't think it's as bad as 2008, 2009, which I was in the business during that time. But I do believe it's going to rival that time in certain ways. Check this out.
Foreclosures are so bad in the red country that the banks try and call and ask you to pay anything. And there's a number of people who refuse to pay because the value keeps going down on the home because so many homes are foreclosed on. And they refuse to give any more money to the bank. And now the bank's at the point where they're just not even trying to collect. They're not even trying to go and take the house away from these people, because at the courthouse, when they try to dump these foreclosures, nobody makes an offer. Nobody will bid anything. Nobody even shows up for the courthouse foreclosure sell-offs because everybody knows the prices will just continue to go down and it's not worth it. And when it comes to rents, there's so many apartments for rent that those numbers keep going down, 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 because again, everything has been overbuilt. That real estate market is already imploding. The banks are in huge trouble and they don't even know what to do at this point, as a huge number of people has just stopped paying.
And the more we have job layoffs.
This week I started doing foreclosure.
We have job layoffs, and I'm about to get to this part right here because this is going to blow your mind. This is what I've been telling people in the real estate space. Y'all don't want to listen. Some of them don't listen. Some people do. But the more these job layoffs accelerate, the more we have a shift from out of an economy where everybody's depending on getting a 4-year degree to blue collar workers getting like 100,000 just coming off. Like, that's crazy. Where the skills for AI is actually going to change the way we do business. A lot of things are shifting, but I believe the shift is actually tied to what's taking place with deportation. I am a believer of it, and I'm gonna tell you why after this video.
On undocumented properties that the people had to leave in a hurry. I just left one. Pizza boxes open, pizza was still there. All the food was still in the pantry. They grabbed whatever valuables they could, left everything else behind. These are foreclosures, so these are homes that were bought using FHA, guaranteed by the government for undocumented people.
Oof.
Last month, over 252,000 people were deported in Texas alone. So all of a sudden, we're starting to see the effects now. I did another one yesterday. They come tagged as possible undocumented immigrant. Furniture's there, fish tank.
Wow. Did you hear what he said? They come tagged. When he gets the foreclosure list, whatever list he's getting in Texas, because every state has a different foreclosure process. Georgia, where I'm at, is different than Florida, is similar in certain areas, but the way it leads up to it, it's different. Okay. But whoever he's getting this list from, whoever these are doing it, and there's a bunch of different platforms that send out foreclosure lists. You can track it better in some states than others. It's tagged as possible illegal undocumented immigrant. That's deep.
Dead fish. They left in a hurry. If you want to see that content, I put that content on my wife's page or on my YouTube page. My wife's page is Ants and Liz, or Ants_Liz, or Ants Inc. on YouTube. They all go there too. I don't flood them on this page, but it looks like that's becoming a trend.
Shout out to Ants Inc., the creator on that. Follow him on TikTok. I pulled this from his TikTok page. He actually came up in my thread when I was looking at content that's been out. And he's got other videos which show this too. And he's doing a great job documenting it. I'm telling you, because if you tell people, they won't believe it. Now, this is something that we don't even talk about. We're talking about the foreclosures coming, but nobody's talking about how the heck did they even get in the doggone house? And you're like, Leon, well, of course they went and got a loan. They got an FHA loan. They got an FHA loan, which is, and if you don't know what FHA is, FHA is subsidized, is a government subsidized loan in a way. You know what I'm saying? Your barrier to get into an FHA loan, 3.5%. I've seen over my 18 years in real estate, people buy houses left and right with FHA loans. Conventional loans, but FHA loan. I've seen more. I can't say they're illegal. I don't know if they're illegal, but I definitely know there were immigrants that couldn't speak the language, buy more houses cash. But one thing is true, and I keep saying it. This is what he sees with the loan, the foreclosure on the lending portion. Imagine the ones that have houses that were bought out cash and they self-deportated. The smart ones were able to sell it and liquidate. Some of the other ones know how to do rentals and stuff like that. But you do have a bunch that were FHA loans, and I knew this was going to be a foreclosure trend. And that's just Texas. The Beltline, I'm not even talking about what's going to take place in Minnesota. God knows. Oh, no. But it's going to become more and more of a trend. More and more of a trend.
Foreclosures are up. Hey, y'all, I've been talking to a lot of folks in the real estate industry, and lots of foreclosures, short sales, just distressed properties all over the place. The stats show that that is true. We're up about somewhere 16 to 20% over last year, and this is happening all over the country, but Texas is one of the states ranking pretty high in overall foreclosures and in new filings for foreclosures, especially in the last quarter. They tell me they do not want folks to just walk away from their homes. I'm being told by some folks in lending that they're not seeing as much grace being given as we've seen in previous times where there have been slowdowns or just a lot of pressure on homeowners. Now, the one thing that most people are recommending is that you do your best to protect your credit and that you get access to credit and equity in your home. For example, go ahead, secure your HELOC, make sure you have access to that equity while things are still going well. Because if you start to miss payments or if you really start to take hits to your credit, it's going to be a lot harder to get access to that. And that is your equity in your home. And how heartbreaking is it that they see people with lots of equity lose their homes because they can't access it, because they're not able to refi or get their HELOC because they have ruined their credit. If you haven't looked at all of your options yet, they're recommending that you do it while things are still going well, just so that you know what you have access to before you need it.
We got another one. You ready? Automatic recliners left. Price went up. We got a couple of blinds in this room. Price went up. We're on the second floor, so we're going to start there. And this carpet needs to be pulled. Actually needs to be replaced, but kind of a weird room. What would you guys do with that room? If you've seen any of my other content, that would be my spicy room right there. Put a nice little, and that would be my spicy room. And this shower, definitely price went up. Super spicy. It's got the dual shower heads, bruh. That's his and hers. Bang, chicka, bang, bang. That's what that shower would be like all day, every day. There's a lot of water bugs. You guys call them water bugs because you're from the South? I call them roaches, but there's a lot of roaches in this one.
And the people in the South do call those things water bugs, right?
Just saying. We had a couple more rooms over here, 3 to be exact. Another bathroom. Blinds all throughout. No wonder I could never see in this house. This was the squatter house. Rooms are big, bro. This is a big one. Probably looking at around 3,000 square foot, if not more. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? This is a big one. Every upstairs window, kind of awkward, the stairway, has blinds, so price just went up. Let's go check it out down here, bruh. Ooh, custom flooring. All downstairs. What do you guys think? Okay.
And this is the run for the bag right now. And unfortunately, some people people are losing their houses. They're going to lose their house. They've already been deported or they self-deported. So the bag is going to end up running out. And if you are in the real estate space, if you're aspiring to be in the real estate space, I hate to say it, but this is a fact. This is true. This is what's going to happen, whether you like it or not, because when you're sitting back and you're getting your loan from the government and these shift happens and you've got that loan on that property, you got to decide what you're going to do with it. You got to decide. And in their case, unfortunately, they don't have a choice. But, you know, there's also the flip to it. It's not like their foreclosure, their credit's getting ruined, right?
Oh, no.
They don't have it.
In many ways, but this post will be about the Florida foreclosure spike. Florida has the highest closure rate of any state in the U.S. in 2025. Yes, Florida voted Republican. I conclude that since we have bad economic policy, higher prices, people are afraid to spend money. Companies aren't hiring. We have record number layoffs. Jobs are not being created.
This has nothing to do with Republican or Democrat. This has to do with skills that are not there to buy a house, to maintain a house. This has more to do with the pullback in the in the economy, jobs being lost. What I showed you, deportations taking place. Don't blame this on a red side. This is not just a red thing. This is also a blue thing. Yes. It goes both ways. It's happening in your city, whether you're talking about the Northeast, whether you're talking about the Midwest, it's taking place.
I expect that it will only get worse for Florida, not just for their foreclosures, but they were number 2 in people that are in distress financially. They're in the top 10 for the highest in credit card delinquency, and much worse news for Florida. Please share this post, drop a comment, and follow for more.
I'm not going to fight against that credit card delinquency.
My
She's
HOA
right.
will be putting a lien on my house and then starting the foreclosure process. Story time. I bought a house in May of 2024 and my house is in an HOA. Now, when I bought the house, I didn't know of any issues or any work that needed to be done on the property. Everything was great for the first few months.
Why she doing a shot like that? Before she was doing another shot. Now she trying to just show the girl. Shout out to the creator. I don't know if it was intentional or not. Slow down. Keep your shots face level, not aimed down. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Let's roll.
And then in March of 2025, this year, I was notified that there was going to be work that needed to be done on all of the properties, and my portion was going to cost $23,000. This amount was later reduced to $22,000, and I started reaching out to my HOA, explaining to them like, hey, this must be a mistake because there's no way that I owe this money. I haven't even lived here for a full year. My HOA tells me that I need to reach out to my realtor and the seller, and I do so, and I find out that the seller provided information to my realtor that showed this work was going to be done, and my realtor never forwarded that information to me so that I can make the final decision on if I actually wanted to purchase the property or not. I've tried to work with my HOA so many times, explaining to them that I don't have the money to pay for this. I wouldn't have had the money last year. I wouldn't have had the money the year before that. Like, this is $22,000 out of pocket. And so I reached out to my realtor and I called her out on our mistake, and I've spoken with her boss, and
Okay, one more thing. If you're looking at the description and you're looking for real estate deals, you're trying to get them on our deal list in Georgia, just fill out the form. You'll get those new deals as they come through. We send through foreclosures, off-market deals, all those different things. That's my short take on this commercial. Description, links in the description of the main YouTube page. Let's go.
Been trying to speak to any attorneys with this company, any higher ups, and they basically told me that they will not be cutting a check for this mistake. This money was supposed to be due by April 30th, and I do think that I had an extension till June 1st because I was originally told that the payments would be June 1st, but it is now June 3rd, and I still don't have the money, and I won't have the money, and so I'm pretty sure that they're going to put a lien on my house and then foreclose it, and I'm going to be out of a home because my realtor did not forward me documents stating that this work was going to be done.
Imagine selling your house in a crisis and you still end up broke. Well, that's Tampa right about now. So Tampa, Florida is now on pace to be the foreclosure capital of America. It's like the epicenter of housing distress right about now. The issue isn't even about buying homes. The issue is for people that bought homes between 2020 and 2023, they can't sell them and make a profit. And see, one of the things about home ownership that we like is if things get tough, if worse comes to worse, you can sell your house and make some money so that you can do the things that you need to do. But in Tampa, people are selling their homes and walking away with nothing. Hell, sometimes less than nothing. So you got declining home values, rocket homeowners insurance prices, and the daily expenses of home ownership have just become too much for some people in Tampa. Now,
home ownership, when it comes to insurance companies, we've seen it already. In California, it's happened in Georgia, and I know it's happening in other states like Texas. Insurance has skyrocketed. It's gone up. And because insurance goes up, your monthly payment goes up too. So if you look at it, if your insurance bill is $3,000 a year, some people say that's crazy, but some people have that. What does that come to? $3,000, you divide it up over 12 months, you got $250 a month on your insurance. So if you have a bill in your monthly bill, they say principal mortgage, your principals, your taxes, and if you may have PMI, which is principal mortgage insurance, that really just insures the lender. If you ever foreclose on a house, the lender doesn't lose their money. But let's say your base is $1,300. That's how much your loan is. Your taxes on that rolls in. That could be another $100. This is how this thing is done. Okay, so you got your principal with insurance with interest. You've got your mortgage pay. You've got your insurance on the house also on top of that. Okay, and then you've got your taxes on the house. So these three things are stacked. So like Chicago's going through it too. Huge tax increase. with that huge tax increase, you've also got your taxes on top of that. I mean, you've also got your insurance on top of that. So now people are in that position where they can lose their home because that slight shift can actually cause your mortgage payment to skyrocket. So that's what a lot of these people are seeing, especially in Florida.
Understand though, this is how rich people thrive. In like 2008, 2009, they loved when that housing bubble popped because they were able to come in, buy really cheap properties, and then become landlords and rent them out for exorbitant prices.
So, real money, real assets, real teachers. And that's what it boils down to. Money's not made when the market is great. Money's actually made when the market is bad, when it goes terrible. Some of the best blue chip stocks that we have, one of them I can think of is Cintas. That's one of them, okay? They came out of the Depression, 1920s. They were born out of Depression. So when times were wrong, bad, that business was built and it thrives now 100 and something years later. Same thing when it comes to building wealth. Nobody's looking at when the market is running up and it's crazy to jump in. They're looking and waiting for it to go to crap. That's why you had Warren Buffett turn around and sell off a lot of his shares in places like Apple. They're positioning for when things to go bad to come in and scoop it with those funds. So it's gonna happen. That's the way the game is played.
Because see, when we struggle, regular folks struggle, rich people actually go shopping. When homeowners drown, investors snorkel. This is not a foreclosure problem. It's a transfer of ownership problem, a generational wealth problem, a who gets to own America problem. And Tampa is the warning shot.
And when you don't educate the people, when you don't educate them and you just tell them buy a house, then this is what happens. When you don't educate them and you don't tell them, hey, listen, we probably need to be in a position where now we wait for a little bit, we see the market dip, then we go buy. Yeah. Got to get it now, right?
So the biggest real estate foreclosure auction that we have seen in years out in Texas is less than 2 weeks away. So a real estate foreclosure happens when someone stops paying their mortgage. They've got a loan on a house, they're unable to pay it, they haven't paid it for a few months. That gets scheduled for auction. In Texas, that happens one day a month. We call it Super Tuesday. It's the first Tuesday of the month. Starts at 10 a.m. Courthouses all over the state, all 256 or something counties. It should be a pretty wild one. When auction starts, they come out with opening bids. Sometimes that's about how much the borrower owes. Sometimes they cut it when they really want to sell it, and they can list it at whatever they want. We'll get people that show up and bid. People always ask me, how do they pay for it? You're supposed to have cash at the time of sale, but nobody's going to carry around $500,000 in $100 bills. So they bring cashier's checks to auction. So people bring a bunch of cashier's checks to auction. They just have to sign over checks more than their bid amount. At that moment, they own the house. The deed won't be recorded for a few days usually, but at the moment the sale happens, the new buyer that hands over the cash, they own the house. They can go change the locks. They can go talk to tenants. They can start the remodeling process. And with this huge list coming up, we should see people buying houses for between 60 and 80% of what they can sell them for right away.
Was just informed that this house was illegal owned and they self-deported. And it's supposed to be full of furniture. It's not full, but there's a TV, moving boxes. Who took all the supposed furniture that's supposed to be here? I don't know. And I told them that because I've been here. And it's not full of furniture like they said. I mean, there's that. There's that.
More than likely, somebody that they knew came in, cleared out all their stuff, probably is going to sell it and send them the money, or they're just going to sell it and keep the money or whatever it may be, and cleared it out. I don't know why they cleaned it out. They could have just left it, but the items in there they knew was so valuable, more than likely, they had to clean it out and sell it.
It's been winterized. I mean, I don't see full of furniture. This is Christmas tree house. Okay, so there is some furniture. I don't recall if these boxes were here before. That's weird. That's really weird. But I don't see like house full of furniture. Like They said. Why? Somebody must have took it. Okay, there's more stuff in here. Smoker. 2 bar sets. Oh.
And this is how it goes down.
This is the compas. We got the Modelos on point. A whole ass generator. Okay. Got an extra washer? Was there one in the house? I don't know. Okay, super interesting. There is some stuff in this house. And clear, pure frying oil. Probably for that fryer right there. Yeah. That's weird. But it's not full of furniture, but there is furniture. That just means that somebody take all the rest of the stuff. We will probably never know.
And this is kind of what happened. So I used to work as a foreclosure agent for on a foreclosure team. An REO team is really what it's called. REO means real estate owned by the bank. And we would go through houses preparing to put it on the market once you get it from the asset management company. And we would see stuff like this all the time. And then I would always get hit up on my pager. Hey, Leon, once it's listed on the market, we definitely want to take a look at that place. And that's typically how the transition happens. And now in the past, I didn't see this trend coming, but because FHA mortgages were used to buy a lot of these properties by illegal immigrants, and there are loopholes in the process where you can actually do that. I've seen it before. It's there. And for that reason, when that happens, less Americans get a chance at owning places that they more than likely wouldn't go under foreclosure for because they wouldn't be deportated. So that is what it is. Now, I'm hitting that 1.5 hour time, and I promise myself I'm going to keep it to 1.5 hours. So listen, guys, like, subscribe, follow for more content. I appreciate everyone that dropped through this. If you're watching it in replay, you guys have a blessed day. Understand, you got to know who you are. You got to know that Jesus loves you. I'll see you guys on the next stream. You guys have a great day.